Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., all rights reserved.
They asked me how I knew my true love was true.
That's Tony Williams, ladies and gentlemen, the late voice of the Platters, one of the classics. Bringing us back. 7 till, I'm Jim Blasingame. My kids, I like for them to think I'm a classic, but that's not always the way they describe me. But one of the things that is classic is the concept of trust. And, of course, nobody can teach us more about how trust works, the value of it, the best practice of trust, the power of trust. And our good friend Stephen M.R. Covey, the author of The Speed of Trust, as well as the new book that he co-authored with Greg Link called Smart Trust, brand spanking new, out right now. Stephen, I want you to tell us, I know you've got a small business story to tell us in a second, but couple of the things that I think about when I think about behavior in the marketplace especially are things that I learned from two people. One person I know and the other person I don't know because he's no longer with us. And that Lynn Morella is one of our ethics experts in our brain trust. He says having ethics is devotion to the unenforceable. And I love the way he says that. And then Albert Camus, the French Nobel laureate, said this: integrity has no need of rules. And inside of both of those statements, the foundation of both of those statements, the action of both of those statements, the result, the manifestation of both of those statements is trust, isn't it?
Absolutely. Trust is the outcome. It is the fruit of that. And love both those quotes. In fact, the Camus one is in my Speed of Trust book because I love it so much. So this is the ethics of devotion to the unenforceable. See, that's the whole premise here of this trust. So that's right on. But and I'll tell you what, in more than ever before, in a world in which we see kind of the other side of this, we need the awareness of this and people to focus on this and to recognize that this is something we can choose differently, and we can create trust in our world.
Absolutely. You've got some examples where you've seen trust flourish and succeed as a best practice. Would you give us some of those?
Yeah. Let me tell you. There's a retail store that sells bicycles. Zane's Bike Shop. It's up in Connecticut, and they started as a very small business. They're still a small business today, but as bike shops go now, they've become the third largest bike shop in the U.S. They're just not.
Wow.
Bike shops don't get huge.
Right.
But this is a remarkable company. Chris Zane's the owner, and he operates on the premise of trust. They want to build trust with their customers, and they do it in every practice. And so if you go there to buy a bike and you're testing, you're looking at a bike and you say, hey, can I take a test drive on this bike? Go out and just take it out and try it. And they say, sure, let's do it. And most customers will say, well, do I need to leave a credit card or driver's license or my wallet or my phone or what have you? And Chris Zane will say to him, nope, we trust you. Just have a great ride. Just make sure you come back. We trust you. And then people have said to him, well, gosh, that's crazy. They might run off with the bike. And he says, why would I want to start a new relationship with the customer on the premise of I don't trust you? I'd rather start on the premise of letting them know I declare my intent. I trust you, and I want you to trust me.
Yeah. And
so is that little act. And he says this. He says, yes, we lose a few bikes a year. There's always a few unethical people. But last year they lost 5 bikes. But they sold 5,000 bikes. And he thinks he's selling a whole lot more bikes because of the fact that he's trusting people, and he's building this high-trust relationship where the customers become intensely loyal to him in his shop, and they refer all their family and friends to him.
And they tell this story to everyone they know.
They tell it to everyone they know.
And that is the power of trust. That's the leverage of trust, isn't it, Stephen?
Absolutely. It's a ripple effect. And you build that kind of reputation, that kind of brand, and suddenly you're a magnet. People are drawn to you. They want to be with people that they trust. They want a business they can trust. Chris Zane has built such a business. But where did it start? he extended trust first to the customer. That's the key learning here. And in this book, we highlight two things. First job of a leader is to inspire trust. But the second job of the leader is to extend trust, to give it. You got to give it. The leader goes first. Give it. As a business, give it. As a parent, give trust to your children. As a friend, give trust to your friend. As a manager, give trust to your people. And you got to be smart about it.
Yep.
But don't hold back, because not everyone can be trusted.
And here's one thing I'd like to leave you with, Stephen. My thinking is, if you err on the side of trust. Don't err on the side of withholding trust.
Absolutely.
And that's what Zane did. Stephen M.R. Covey, ladies and gentlemen, the new book just out right now, but already #1 on Amazon, Smart Trust. Get a copy, folks. Buy 2. You're going to want to give one away. Stephen M.R. Covey, come back again real soon. Thanks again.
I will. Thanks, Jim.
We'll see you next time. Quick break. No, actually, I got to go for this hour. I'm Jim Blasingame. I'll see you later.
Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., intended for the private use of our audience. Except as otherwise provided by copyright law, all other copying, redistribution, or publication without prior written consent is prohibited. All rights reserved.